Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. For today's video, we have 15 trades set to shake up the NBA this NBA offseason. So pretty much, we all know last NBA offseason, there was a ton of different moves that went on, guys. Like, so many stars switching teams, a lot of the power of the Eastern Conference being shifted heavily over to the Western Conference. At the end of the day, man, we still very well might end up with the Golden State Warriors and Cleveland Cavaliers in the NBA Finals. But at the same time, it's like some of these trades really could affect how the NBA season plays out next year. So we're going to go through this. This is an article by Darnell Jones. And looks like we got Kawhi Leonard on the 76ers and Damian Lillard on the Cleveland Cavaliers. So pretty much, guys, we're going to look at each trade and see if it makes sense. See if that player on that particular team, just like if it would be a good fit or not, right? So let's go ahead, guys, and get started on this. If you could please do me a quick favor and drop a like on this video, it would be greatly appreciated. So here we go. The first one we have is Serge Ibaka to the Houston Rockets. You know what, man? I like this move a lot. Like, Serge Ibaka has become a pretty solid stretch four out there. And early on in his NBA career, like when he played for the OKC Thunder, that was not really his game. I mean, yeah, he can knock down like the mid-range shots, but Serge Ibaka can shoot three-pointers now. He's still athletic and still play defense, you know, playing alongside Clint Capella. And all of a sudden, that's pretty good out there, man. Not to mention, like I was saying, he is athletic. So being able to run the court in transition when you got guys like James Harden and also Chris Paul that can find you, I think Serge Ibaka on this team would be a lot more of a better fit than he is now on the Toronto Raptors. So hopefully something like this does happen. I think he does have a multi-year contract right now, and there is a good chance it is a bitch-ass contract. So I really don't know what type of trade would be able to be done between the Houston Rockets and the Toronto Raptors. Although the Raptors look like they might get swept by the Cleveland Cavaliers. So with that being said, they might be looking to rebuild. So maybe some sort of draft pick or young talent alongside, you know, one of their bitch-ass contracts in exchange for Serge Ibaka could be warranted. I do like the move, though, so far we're off to a good start. Next up, we have Damian Lillard to the Cleveland Cavaliers. All right, Dan Gilbert, is he still, like, the GM there? I think he is, isn't he, man? If you are watching this video for the 0.00003% chance you actually watch this, man, you better trade that Brooklyn Nets draft pick and bring on somebody like Damian Lillard. LeBron James is not going to want to wait for an 18 or 19-year-old to develop before they can actually help him out. He needs players that can help him win now. And I really do think a team like the Portland Trail Blazers, who just got swept by the Pelicans recently, they might be looking to go in the direction of a rebuild. I mean, Damian Lillard, LeBron James, and Kevin Love, that's something to talk about right there. Realistically, I guess they could probably even get rid of Kevin Love at that point, maybe bring on somebody else, maybe a better fit. But yeah, Damian Lillard on the Cleveland Cavaliers, that would be a great reason for LeBron James to re-sign with the Cavaliers instead of taking his talents elsewhere, which might actually happen. We don't know yet. I think LeBron's going to wait a while before he makes his decision, by the way, too. But yeah, Damian Lillard on the Cavaliers brings them an elite point guard, especially in the Eastern Conference. Like, this dude's elite in the Western Conference. I mean, this man might be starting for the Eastern Conference All-Stars next season unless they do that Team Curry, LeBron stuff again. But y'all know what I'm saying, right, man? Definitely one of the top point guards in the Eastern Conference. I would love to see him go out there and see what he can do, just because I feel like he's kind of overshadowed by the rest of the Western Conference at times. Some might say that might make him underrated or overrated. You guys let me know in the comment section below. I think he's a very solid point guard, and that would definitely make him the second option on the team, which might be a role for him, you know, if he really wants to contend for a championship. Because some players they do better as the second option, and they can't really win a championship otherwise. I mean, Kevin Love, look at him on the Timberwolves compared to settling for a second or third role option on the Cleveland Cavaliers. So I think it would be a great fit, guys. Damian Lillard, go to the Cleveland Cavaliers, and maybe win an NBA championship. Next up, we have DeAndre Jordan to the Washington Wizards. Now, I will say, first and foremost, I like DeMarcus Cousins going to the Wizards the most, just because of what he can do offensively. I feel like he could help stretch the floor out. You know, for John Wall in isolations and things like that, the pick and pop game, pick and roll game would be nice. But DeAndre Jordan to the Wizards would definitely not be a bad second option, because Marcin Gortat, I roast him every single time I bring up this man's game, guys, or his name. Marcin Gortat is complete trash. DeAndre Jordan instantly is going to get you at least, 10 points, 13 rebounds a game, maybe a few blocks out there. So that's already a huge improvement. Not to mention, we all know how good DeAndre Jordan was with Chris Paul. I mean, John Wall is one of the best passing point guards in the NBA. So who knows, man? Like, maybe DeAndre Jordan could bounce back a bit, going back to the Lob City days, and kind of formulate that again, in the Eastern Conference. So I definitely like the idea of DeAndre Jordan to the Wizards, and I think that makes them a lot better of a team. I mean, Marcin Gortat, of course, could come back, but it would probably be as a backup role, which might be what he is at this point anyway. So yes, DeAndre Jordan to the Wizards with Bradley Beal, Otto Porter, And John Wall, assuming they have enough cap space, I think they would. I guess I really don't know their whole situation. Next up, we have Ryan Anderson to the Raptors. Okay, so I guess that kind of sums things up right there, where it would be a trade of Serge Ibaka for Ryan Anderson, just two decent power forwards, just kind of switching up scenarios. I will say Ryan Anderson out of the two is the better three-point shooter, which might actually help a lot, spacing for DeMar DeRozan, who's not always the greatest three-point shooter. Definitely his best season from that, as regards to that. But yeah, might just be a nice switch, just give these guys a different change scenario, like I was saying, man. So Ryan Anderson to the Raptors, I don't think it's like a big-time, like, game-changing move. Like, I don't feel like Ryan Anderson is the same player he once was. I know back when he played for, like, the Magic, he had a few 20-point-per-game seasons. So definitely not that anymore, but I think maybe he'd be better for a backup role, knock down some threes off the bench, bring a little offense there. So Ryan Anderson to the Raptors, sure, why not, man, switch things up. All right, next up we have, okay, here we go, Kevin Love to the Blazers. So maybe it's something like Kevin Love in the Brooklyn Nets draft pick, which is not as valuable as it was at the beginning of the season, because at the beginning of the season, nobody thought the Nets were going to be decent at all, and it turns out the pick will probably be the 7th, 8th, or 9th pick in the draft, so it definitely loses value right there. But yeah, Kevin Love and the Brooklyn Nets draft pick for Damian Lillard, I like that a lot. All of a sudden you got Kevin Love and you got CJ McCollum on the same team. Maybe in an instance, the Blazers would be a good destination for somebody like Terry Rozier to go to. I mean, because the Celtics are going to have to decide between Rozier and Kyrie Irving, chances are it will be Kyrie Irving, and then all of a sudden, Terry Rozier go to the Blazers, play with CJ McCollum, Kevin Love, maybe re-sign Nurkic, and all of a sudden the Blazers, they got a nice young squad out there. Kevin Love's not young, but who knows what he can do at the Western Conference. Maybe it's just his style of basketball. Going back to the Timberwolf days, he'll just ball out there. Who knows, man? But I definitely like that. Because I don't know if I see Kevin Love and LeBron James on the same team again after this season. I feel like that window needs to be closed. And I just feel like there's other players that could play better alongside LeBron James. And although, I don't know, because the thing about them as teammates is that sometimes Kevin Love shows up, sometimes he doesn't. And damn, I think LeBron James probably sick of that to an extent. Next up, we have Bradley Beal to the Clippers. Okay, well, I guess the Blazers are just rebuilding, right? But yeah, Bradley Beal to the Clippers. No, I'm sorry. Why am I thinking of that? No, Bradley Beal. Yeah, he plays for the Wizards. I'm sorry, guys. I was thinking CJ McCollum for a second because we were just talking about the Blazers. No, Bradley Beal to the Clippers. Okay, so I guess the sense here would be. See, that's the thing though. If I'm the Washington Wizards, would you guys rather keep John Wall or Bradley Beal if you had to decide between one or the other? I do think Bradley Beal can be a number one option on a team, and the Clippers very well might be that spot for him. He's still pretty young out there. I think he's like 25, maybe 26, if that. So it definitely would give them a nice piece to rebuild around. And I use rebuild lightly because I know the Clippers do not actually want to rebuild, but gives them a piece to work with out there. And the Wizards were pretty solid when John Wall was out and Bradley Beal was the number one option. So I think he definitely deserves a chance at that. Next up, we have Jalen Brown to the Bulls. Okay, I don't really see this one happening because why would the Celtics get rid of Jalen Brown unless they are, confident they might sign some other big names in free agency and maybe they don't want to pay Jalen Brown the money quite yet. But with that being said, he's only on his 2-year deals, or his 2-year rookie deal, so I believe they have a 2-year team option on him, so you could still get him for rookie money for the next 2 seasons. I really don't see any reason why the Celtics would get rid of Jalen Brown. Yes, if the Bulls were able to get him, then of course you do that because I feel like he's my future all-star in the NBA. I mean, I don't think he's a superstar, but definitely an all-star caliber player. So yeah, it would be nice if that did happen for them, but I don't see that happening at all. All right, next up we have Lauri Markkanen to the Celtics. All right, we got some more BS right there, man. Yeah, it would be an awesome fit. Okay, who freaking wrote this article, man? You started off so well, and now you're just like losing me here, man. You're completely losing me. Darnell Jones. Why in the freaking 2K God's name would the Bulls get rid of Lauri Markkanen? I mean, sure, maybe if you do a Jalen Brown, Lauri Markkanen swap, then that's something you can discuss. It would have to be something like that, obviously, because, the Celtics, they do need more big men, more than they need, like, forwards and shooting guards. So that's the only possible way I can see this happening, but no, man, Lauri Markkanen is a beast. So is Jalen Brown, though. Next up, we got Josh Jackson to the Nuggets. I don't know if the Suns are quite ready to give up on Josh Jackson yet. I know offensively he's not quite there yet. Defensively he's pretty solid. But the thing about him is that he is still extremely young, so it's like a team that's rebuilding, unless you get a good piece back for them. The Nuggets, yeah, it would be nice because he would just be a solid 3 to put alongside, Jokic and Paul Millsap if he returns to that team. I think he does have 1 more year left on his contract. But yeah, I mean, unless it's some sort of nice trade that, really benefits the Suns from a rebuild standpoint. I don't see something like this happening. Although you never really know, because the Suns, they might go for a guy like a Miles Bridges in the draft, depending on where they get to pick at. I just don't really see this happening at all, because why? Why would the Phoenix Suns get rid of their young second-year player? Next up, we have Jamal Murray to the Phoenix Suns. That's kind of interesting. I would like to see the Denver Nuggets get more of a veteran point guard slash shooting guard, like a Mike Conley, somebody like that, or even Bradley Beal, man, if they were able to pull that off somehow. That would be pretty cool. Jamal Murray is definitely a solid player. I just don't know if he's really the right player to play alongside Jokic on the Denver Nuggets. So yeah, if he went to the Phoenix Suns, he would pretty much have like free reign to just be like a scoring beast, and all of a sudden we might see a Kemba Walker type player in Jamal Murray, just one of those really good scoring point guards out there. Because not to mention you get him in the backcourt with Devin Booker, and that's all of a sudden pretty nice. Now the Suns already have Elfrid Payton on their teams, who was pretty nice for them ever since they traded for him. So I don't know if I see this happening, but very well. Maybe you go Elfrid Payton, you put Jamal as shooting guard, maybe run Devin Booker at the 3 spot. Defensively, that probably would not work, but something to think about. Next up, we have Reggie Jackson to the Magic. Yeah, just get him off my Detroit Pistons, bro. Just get him off my Detroit Pistons. I'm ready for somebody else. You don't want to toss him like Aaron Gordon. I'll take him out on the team. But yeah, if Reggie Jackson went to the Magic, it's just like, that's just his career now. He's just done. I mean, yeah, he'll go to the Magic and get his 16 points and 5 assists per game or whatever it is. But I mean, he ain't going to sniff the playoffs. Next up, we got Hassan. Ooh, interesting. I know, personally speaking, I've kind of always liked the idea of trying Jokic at the 4 just because of his passing abilities and his 3-point shot, being able to space the floor. And then you go for more of a natural kind of inside game center, defensive center, and Hassan Whiteside. That's pretty interesting, man. And then I guess like if Paul Millsap is back on a team, you could hypothetically run him at the small forward position. I like the idea of shaking this up right here, but definitely would need to go for a more of a veteran point guard to run that sort of offense out there. And I think Mike Conley still has like 2 or 3 years left on his bitch-ass contract, so maybe you do something like Paul Millsap for Mike Conley, because Millsap will only be on a 1-year deal. So this is kind of interesting. I mean, Jokic, some might say that he's better off at the center position. I think defensively he's not the greatest, so that might help things out right there. But yeah, like the feel of this one, I guess. Next up, we got Paul Millsap, the Miami Heat. Sure. I mean, I still think he could be roughly a 17-point per game scorer, and that's kind of what the Miami Heat need right now. And it looks like the swap would be Paul Millsap for Hassan Whiteside. And just because, like, the Miami Heat were pretty good already with Hassan Whiteside playing like trash, so all of a sudden you get a pretty solid scorer and Paul Millsap added to your team. And who knows what they could do next season. I mean, he definitely doesn't have many years left because he is definitely getting old, and not to mention he's also injury prone. But yeah, man, for a season or two, try him out. It's a low risk type of thing. And now we got Kawhi Leonard to the 76ers. I mean, yeah, that would be awesome if you're a Sixers fan. Do I see something like this happening? I'm trying to think what sort of trade would entice the San Antonio Spurs to trade Kawhi Leonard to the 76ers. I will say maybe like a Dario Saric, Markelle Fultz type of deal could get it done, I think, definitely. Would he fit into the squad? Yes. I mean, defensively, he would help that team out so much already. Offensively, he'd be like the go-to scorer. So pretty much it would be Kawhi Leonard, number 1 option, Joel Embiid, number 2 option, Ben Simmons, average 20 assists per game. Of course, Kawhi Leonard would fit nicely on the Sixers. Now, there's rumors of LeBron James also going to the Sixers. If I had to pick between the two right now, some people might say, Chris, you're an idiot for saying this. I would say Kawhi Leonard fits in better on the 76ers than LeBron James does. Yes, LeBron James is obviously the best player in the NBA, but a lot of his game style or play style is similar to Ben Simmons, where, Kawhi Leonard could definitely play off ball and stuff like that, and is a lot better of a shooter, I will say, than LeBron James, at most of the time, although LeBron had one hell of a season when it came to like shooting 3-pointers and stuff. So who knows, man, maybe LeBron could play off ball for an NBA season. And finally, well, there we go, guys. We got Markelle Fultz to the San Antonio Spurs. I actually like this a lot. I don't feel like Markelle Fultz has a future on the Philadelphia 76ers. I feel like they are kind of committed to the whole Ben Simmons at point guard thing, which is fine. I mean, it's working for them, right? Also in these playoffs against the Boston Celtics, but it's still early, man. Who knows? Maybe they'll blow a 3-0 lead. Probably not. But yeah, and then Markelle Fultz gets to go to the Spurs, which is a team that if they trade Kawhi Leonard would probably start delving into the realm of the rebuild. But what better player to get the most out of a number 1 pick overall than Greg Popovich, one of the greatest coaches of all time. So I feel like Markelle Fultz would get a nice, fresh start over there after a rookie season that was plagued by injuries. But anyway, guys, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comment section below some big-time trades you think are going to happen this NBA offseason. And yeah, man, if you want me to do some more of these articles, drop that like, subscribe if you're new to my channel, and peace out, my friends.